welcome to Mythic Bedtime YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share. Whispering Woods. In the heart of the vast continent of Eldoria lay the Whispering Woods, a forest so ancient that its origins were lost in time. The trees stood tall, their canopies intertwined, creating a labyrinth of green that filtered the sunlight into a soft, ethereal glow. But what made the forest truly unique were the whispers, soft, melodic murmurs that resonated through the air, telling tales of times long past. Aria, a young woman with raven black hair and eyes as blue as the deepest ocean, lived on the outskirts of the Whispering Woods. She had grown up listening to the tales of the forest, stories of magical creatures, ancient prophecies, and hidden treasures. But one story had always stood out, the legend of the Heartstone, a gem said to hold the power of the entire forest. The Heartstone was believed to be located at the very center of the Whispering Woods, guarded by creatures of old and protected by enchantments. Many had ventured into the forest in search of the stone, but none had returned. Driven by a mix of curiosity and the desire to protect her village from looming threats, Aria decided to embark on a quest to find the Heartstone. She believed that with its power, she could shield her village from any danger. Her journey was fraught with challenges. The deeper she ventured into the forest, the more labyrinthine and treacherous the paths became. She encountered creatures of all kinds, some helpful, like the luminescent fairies that lit her path during the darkest nights, and some malevolent, like the shadowy wraiths that tried to lead her astray. One day, while resting by a shimmering blue stream, Aria met Lior, a young man with golden hair and a gentle demeanor. He too was searching for the Heartstone, hoping to cure his ailing sister. Realizing that their goals aligned, the two decided to join forces. Together, Aria and Lior faced numerous trials. They solved riddles whispered by the ancient trees, battled fierce creatures, and navigated the ever-changing landscape of the forest. Their bond grew stronger with each challenge, and they soon became inseparable. After what felt like months, they finally reached the heart of the forest. There, in a clearing bathed in silver moonlight, stood a pedestal, and atop it, the Heartstone, glowing with a soft, pulsating light. However, as they approached the stone, a guardian emerged. A majestic phoenix, its feathers a blazing mix of gold and crimson, confronted them. It spoke of the responsibility that came with the Heartstone and tested their intentions and hearts. Aria and Lior, with their pure motives and united strength, passed the phoenix's test. They were granted the Heartstone, but with a caveat: its power was to be used wisely and never for personal gain. Returning to their respective homes, Aria and Lior used the Heartstone's power to protect and heal. Their legends spread throughout Eldoria, not as treasure hunters, but as selfless heroes. The Whispering Woods continued its eternal murmurs, with a new tale added to its repertoire, the tale of Aria, Lior, and their quest for the Heartstone. As the years passed, the tale of Aria and Lior's quest became a beacon of hope for the people of Eldoria. The Heartstone, with its immense power, not only protected Aria's village but also brought prosperity to the surrounding regions. Crops flourished, rivers flowed with pristine water, and a sense of peace enveloped the land. However, with prosperity came envy. Neighboring kingdoms, hearing tales of the Heartstone's power, sought to claim it for themselves. Armies were mobilized, and Eldoria found itself on the brink of war. One such kingdom was Draken, ruled by the ambitious King Malagar. His spies had informed him of the Heartstone's location and its guardians, Aria and Lior. Determined to seize the stone, Malagar hatched a plan to infiltrate the village. Under the guise of a peace envoy, Malagar sent his most trusted general, Zara, to Eldoria. Zara, with her silver tongue and cunning, quickly gained the trust of the village elders. She learned of the Heartstone's protective enchantments and discovered that only a true guardian with a pure heart could harness its power. Realizing a direct assault would be futile, Zara devised a sinister plan. Using dark magic, she captured Lior's soul, trapping it within a shadow crystal. With Lior incapacitated, the village's defenses weakened. Aria, devastated by Lior's condition, knew she had to act fast. She remembered tales of an ancient sorceress, Eldoria, who lived deep within the Whispering Woods and possessed knowledge of soul magic. Determined to save Lior and protect the Heartstone, Aria embarked on a new quest. Navigating the familiar yet ever-changing paths of the forest, Aria faced fresh challenges. She encountered spirits of the past, guardians of ancient knowledge, and puzzles that tested her wit and courage. After days of searching, Aria finally found Eldoria's abode, a crystal cavern illuminated by starlight. Eldoria, an ageless being with eyes reflecting the cosmos, agreed to help Aria. However, she warned that freeing Lior's soul would require a sacrifice. Using a combination of the Heartstone's power and Eldoria's magic, a ritual was performed. Aria's pure love for Lior and her selfless intent resonated, shattering the shadow crystal and freeing Lior's soul. However, as forewarned, the ritual drained a portion of the Heartstone's power. United once more, Aria and Lior returned to their village, ready to face the looming threat of Draken. With the Heartstone's diminished power and the wisdom of the Whispering Woods, they fortified their defenses and rallied their people. When Draken's armies descended upon Eldoria, they were met with fierce resistance. The battle raged on, but the unity of Eldoria's people, combined with Aria and Lior's leadership, eventually repelled the invaders. King Malagar's ambitions were thwarted, and peace was restored. Aria and Lior, having faced trials that tested their resolve and bond, chose to entrust the Heartstone to the Whispering Woods, believing its power was safest within the ancient forest. Their legacy lived on, not as mere guardians of a stone but as symbols of hope, unity, and the indomitable spirit of Eldoria. As peace returned to Eldoria, Aria and Lior's bond grew even stronger. They had faced unimaginable challenges together, and their shared experiences had forged a connection that was unbreakable. However, the events with Draken and the partial draining of the Heartstone's power had left a lasting impact on the land. The Whispering Woods, sensing the imbalance, began to change. Trees that once stood tall and majestic started to wither, and the whispers grew fainter. The once clear streams turned murky, and a dense fog enveloped the forest. Aria, with her deep connection to the woods, felt the distress of the ancient trees. She began having vivid dreams, where a silvery deer with antlers that shimmered like the night sky would appear, guiding her to a hidden grove deep within the forest. In this grove stood a tree unlike any other, its bark silver and leaves made of crystal. The tree, known as the Luminera, was said to be the heart of the Whispering Woods. The dreams conveyed a message: the Luminera was fading, and with it, the essence of the forest. To restore it, a new source of power was needed, one that matched the purity and strength of the Heartstone. Determined to save the Whispering Woods, Aria and Lior embarked on a new quest. Their journey took them beyond Eldoria, to distant lands and ancient realms. They sought knowledge from wise sages, crossed treacherous terrains, and faced creatures of myth and legend. In the kingdom of Celestia, they learned of the star shards, fragments of fallen stars with immense energy. These shards, when combined, could rival the power of the Heartstone and rejuvenate the Luminera. However, gathering the star shards was no easy task. Each shard was guarded by challenges that tested the duo's wit, courage, and strength. From solving the riddles of the Sphinx in the Desert of Illusions to facing the fierce Naga in the depths of Serpent's Lair, Aria and Lior's determination was put to the test. After months of searching, they finally gathered all the star shards. Combining their energy, they created a radiant gem that pulsed with the power of the cosmos. Returning to the Whispering Woods, they approached the Luminera. As Aria placed the gem at the base of the tree, a brilliant light enveloped the grove. The withered trees regained their vitality, the streams ran clear, and the whispers returned, louder and more melodious than ever. The balance was restored, and the whispering woods thrived once more. Aria and Lior, having once again saved their homeland, chose to build a home at the edge of the forest, forever guarding and watching over the land they loved. Their tales of bravery, love, and adventure became legendary, passed down through generations, a testament to the indomitable spirit of Eldoria's guardians. Years turned into decades, and the legend of Aria and Lior echoed throughout the lands. Eldoria prospered, and the Whispering Woods stood as a beacon of hope and magic. However, as time flowed, new challenges arose. From the eastern horizon, dark clouds began to gather, casting a shadow over Eldoria. These weren't ordinary clouds, they pulsed with a malevolent energy, draining the life force of everything they touched. The once vibrant lands on the eastern borders turned barren, and the creatures fled, bringing tales of a dark force known as the Nimbus Void. The Nimbus Void was said to be the creation of a forgotten sorcerer, Argoth, who sought to dominate all realms. Fueled by envy and anger towards Eldoria's prosperity, he had unleashed the Nimbus Void to consume the land. Aria and Lior, now elders but still spirited and determined, knew they had to confront this new threat. They delved into ancient scrolls and consulted the spirits of the Whispering Woods. They learned of the ethereal loom, an artifact of immense power that could weave together the energies of the land and dispel dark magic. The ethereal loom, however, was not in Eldoria. It was located in the Floating Isles, a series of islands suspended in the sky, guarded by the Sky Wardens, majestic beings of air and light. With the Heartstone's remaining power and the blessings of the Whispering Woods, Aria and Lior embarked on their journey to the skies. Riding on the backs of giant eagles, they soared above the clouds, witnessing a realm of endless horizons and shimmering isles. The Sky Wardens, having heard of Aria and Lior's deeds, welcomed them. However, they spoke of the challenges that lay ahead. The ethereal loom was protected by a series of trials, each representing an element: air, water, fire, and earth. Aria and Lior faced each trial with unwavering determination. From navigating stormy mazes to dancing with flames, they proved their worth at every step. Finally, they reached the ethereal loom, a magnificent tapestry that shimmered with the colors of the cosmos. With the loom's power, they wove a protective shield around Eldoria, confronting the Nimbus Void. A fierce battle of energies ensued, with the dark clouds clashing against the radiant barrier. The skies lit up with flashes of light and shadow, and the very fabric of the realm trembled. In the end, the combined strength of Aria, Lior, and the ethereal loom prevailed. The Nimbus Void was dispelled, and Argoth's dark ambitions were thwarted. Returning to Eldoria as heroes once more, Aria and Lior decided to establish a sanctuary, a place where knowledge, magic, and the tales of their adventures would be preserved for future generations. This sanctuary, known as the Hall of Echoes, stood as a testament to their legacy. As the years passed, Aria and Lior's tales inspired countless others, ensuring that the spirit of adventure, bravery, and unity would forever thrive in the heart of Eldoria. The Hall of Echoes became a beacon of knowledge and wisdom in Eldoria. Scholars, mages, and adventurers from distant lands traveled to the sanctuary, seeking to learn from the vast archives and the tales of Aria and Lior. The hall was not just a place of the past, but also a hub of innovation and discovery. As the years flowed, a new generation rose, inspired by the legends of their forebears. Among them was Lyria, the granddaughter of Aria and Lior. With raven black hair like Aria and eyes that sparkled with the same adventurous spirit as Lior, Lyria was a perfect blend of her grandparents. Growing up amidst tales of bravery and magic, Lyria felt a calling of her own. She had heard whispers of realms beyond the known, of dimensions that existed parallel to Eldoria. These realms, known as the Fringe Realms, were said to be places of immense wonder but also of unpredictable dangers. With the blessings of her grandparents and armed with knowledge from the Hall of Echoes, Lyria set out to explore these realms. Each Fringe Realm was unique, from the crystalline landscapes of Lemuria to the floating gardens of Aralise. In her travels, Lyria encountered beings of various forms and intellects. She forged alliances, traded knowledge, and often found herself in situations that required wit and agility. But with each challenge, she grew stronger, her understanding of the multiverse expanding. However, in one particular realm, known as the Obsidian Abyss, Lyria stumbled upon a dark prophecy. It spoke of a cosmic convergence, a rare event where all the Fringe Realms would align, potentially causing chaos and upheaval across dimensions. Determined to prevent this catastrophe, Lyria sought the wisdom of ancient seers and cosmic entities. She learned of the Nexus anchors, artifacts scattered across the realms that could stabilize the impending convergence. With new purpose, Lyria's journey took on a greater urgency. She navigated treacherous terrains, battled otherworldly creatures, and solved intricate puzzles to locate each Nexus anchor. After years of relentless pursuit, Lyria managed to gather all the Nexus anchors. With their combined power, she forged a cosmic seal, anchoring the Fringe Realms and preventing the chaotic alignment. Returning to Eldoria, Lyria was hailed as a savior of not just one, but countless realms. The Hall of Echoes expanded, with a new wing dedicated to the Fringe Realms and Lyria's adventures. Aria and Lior, now wise and old, looked upon their granddaughter with immense pride. They realized that while their tales had inspired a generation, it was now Lyria's story that would ignite the flames of adventure in the hearts of many more to come. The legacy of bravery, exploration, and unity continued, with the tales of Eldoria echoing through time and dimensions, forever and always. As the suns of Eldoria set, casting a golden hue over the horizon, the Hall of Echoes stood tall, its spires reaching for the skies. The hall had become more than just a repository of tales. It was a living testament to the spirit of adventure that coursed through the veins of Eldoria's people. Lyria, having safeguarded countless realms, felt a new calling. The Fringe Realms, while now stable, were interconnected in ways previously unimagined. There existed pathways, cosmic threads that wove the fabric of these dimensions together. And at the heart of this intricate web was Eldoria. With the guidance of Aria and Lior, and the vast knowledge of the Hall of Echoes, Lyria embarked on her final quest to create a confluence nexus. This nexus would serve as a hub, a gateway that connected Eldoria to the Fringe Realms, allowing for safe passage and fostering unity among dimensions. Gathering mages, scholars, and engineers, Lyria oversaw the construction of the Confluence Nexus atop the highest peak of Eldoria. Using the Nexus anchors and the residual power of the Heartstone, they crafted a magnificent portal, its archways shimmering with ethereal light. As the Confluence Nexus activated, gateways to the Fringe Realms manifested. Delegations from various dimensions arrived, bringing with them gifts, knowledge, and a desire for peaceful coexistence. Eldoria transformed into a cosmopolitan hub, a meeting point of cultures, ideas, and wonders. Aria and Lior, witnessing the culmination of their legacy, decided to retire to a serene grove within the Whispering Woods. Their tales had set the stage, but it was the subsequent generations, especially Lyria, who had expanded the horizons of possibility. Lyria, having achieved her grand vision, took on the mantle of guardian of the Confluence Nexus. She ensured that the interactions between realms were harmonious and that the spirit of exploration was always tempered with respect and understanding. As years turned into centuries, the tales of Aria, Lior, and Lyria became the foundational legends of Eldoria. The Hall of Echoes, ever expanding, stood as a beacon for adventurers, scholars, and dreamers. And so, in a land where tales whispered through ancient woods and stars told stories of brave hearts, the Saga of Eldoria continued, a testament to the enduring spirit of adventure, unity, and boundless possibilities. The end.